ArrayList is a class in java.util package and it represents a resizable array. The main difference between an array and an ArrayList is that the size of an array is constant after it is declared, whereas the size of an ArrayList is dynamic. To declare ArrayList, we can use the class ArrayList, and it's a generic class, so we can use the triangular brackets and define the type we want to use it for. So for example, here we want to create an array list of string, and we can name it as names, just like the names here, which is an array of string. And then we can say equal to new array list. So here, for example, the names here had 3 items in the array, which means we cannot add more than 3 items. Whereas when we declare here the array list, we have not defined any size of the array list. The initial capacity of an array list is 10, whereas it will keep adding as you add more items. So if we have to add items to array list, what we are going to do is we will use the add method. So we can say names.add, and add has 2 variations. The first variation is where it takes only the item of the type the array list we declared. So here we declared the array list as a string. It can be of type int or any other reference types. Here we decided to use string. When we use add, we can either pass the value or we can use the second overload, which takes an index and the value. So what it does is it inserts the specified element at the specified position in the list, shift the element currently at that position, if any, and any subsequent elements to the right. So this is an interesting method. So first let's look into the add with the item. So we can use here first, and similarly we can use 2 other items here. We can add second, let's add here third and fourth. So we added 3 items to this array list, first, third and fourth. So if we just try to print this out, we can do system.out.println, and we can pass the array list. And now if we compile and run, we can see first, third and fourth getting printed out. This is another difference between array list and string array. In case of array, you could not just pass the array to println. You have to use the string function and do a toString on it to print it properly. Whereas in array list, it already has an implementation of toString. So we can just pass the array list itself and it's going to print out first, second and third here. Now what we want to do is, if we use the names.add with the index, and we want to add the second whose index should be 1. So if we use 1 here, and for the element if we use second, now what is going to happen is it is going to add the second in the first index, which is the second element, and then push third and fourth out. So at this point in time, if we run the same function, what we are going to see is we are going to see first, second, third and fourth printed out. And we can see here first, second, third and fourth. So these are the 2 variations of the add method. The next one we can talk about is the set method. Set is setting an item at a particular index. So if we do names.set, you can see what set does it replaces an element at the specified position in the list. So if we do a set, and let's say we want to change the third index, which is the fourth item, and we want to change it as new fourth. What is going to happen is it is going to change fourth with new fourth. So now if I just compile and run, we should see first, second, third and new fourth. And you can see here, as expected, we are seeing first, second, third and new fourth. The next method we can talk about is remove. And this is used for removing an item. So remove also has two overload. The first one is takes just the object and removes the first occurrence of the specified object from the list if present. If it does not contain this element, it will just come out unchanged. So let's try both out. First, let's pass names as the name here. Nothing is going to happen. It is going to print the same thing as before. But instead of names, if we pass first here, it is going to remove the first element and it is going to keep the last three. Let me just move this code out. We want to do it afterwards, otherwise we'll get the error of index not found, which you can see here after I put the code. So let me now recompile again and run it back. And now you can see second, third, and new fourth. Now what we can do is remove. As I said, there are two variations of remove. The one is with the element, the other one takes an index. So if we want to specifically remove the index number 1, which is second, and let me get rid of the, it is taking the index. So if I pass the index now, it is going to remove the second from the list. So it's going to print first, third, and new fourth. So let me compile and run. And you can see it is printing first, third, and new fourth. So this is the second method. Now let's say we want to remove all items from the array. So for that, we can use the method clear. And clear do not take any parameter, so we don't have to pass any. And if we do that, once we print out the names, it's going to print an empty array list because there is no item left in the array list. So let me compile and run. And you can see an empty array list is printed out. Now, if we want to loop through this array list, there are two ways of doing it. We can use for or for each. So I'm going to start with for. So for, we can do int I equal to 0 and I less than names dot. Unlike the array, which has a length property, array list has a size property. So we can do name dot size, and then similarly I plus plus, and then we can do system dot out dot println. And here, to get an item from the array list, we have to use the get method. So we can say names dot get, and get, you have to pass the index. So the index in our case is I. So we can do that. And let me comment out this. We don't need this anymore. And now let's compile and run. And this is showing a couple of features of array list. First is the size feature, which gives the size of the array list. And the second is the get feature, using which we can get a particular item at a particular index. And now here you can see first, second, third, and new fourth getting printed out. And the last thing I wanted to discuss for this video is a two-dimensional array list. So if we have to declare a two-dimensional array list, what we can do is we can declare the array list this way. We can say array list, and then the type of this array list is also another array list. And then the type of this internal array list is string. So this is our array list, and we can say outer names is equal to new array list. And then what we can do is we can add an item to the array list, and this item can be this array list name. So we can say outer names dot add names. Now we created a two-dimensional array list. So for looping through this, what we can do is first we can do a for, and then internally we can use another for, but I want to use for each here instead of a for. So we can do for, and here we can say string name, and outer names dot get, and we can give the index I, which is going to return a string because the outer names of get is going to return an array list. So we are looping through an array list of strings, so we can say string. And here all we have to do is print the name. Now, just for better visibility, I can put curly braces around both the array list. So now this is a little bit more clearer. And now if I print out, it's going to print the same thing because the outer array list has only one element, which is the names. So let me go and compile and run. And you can see it is printing the exact same thing, which is first, second, third, and new fourth. First, it came to the outer array list, which had one item. So it did one. And then it went into the inner array list when it did a get on the index. And in the inner array list, we had 4 elements. So it looped through 4 times and printed out the name of each one. So this is, in a nutshell, what an array list. There are a couple of other methods of array list which I did not cover in this video, because for covering this video, we have to talk about collections first. So when we talk about collections, we will revisit those methods for array list. So that is all I wanted to cover for today's video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel and you think you are getting value out of this channel, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks so much for watching this video.